Good morning. All right, the Friday, October 4th, regular 2024 regular City of Knoxville Public Officer hearing is called to order at 9:32 a.m. I'm Nicholas Bradshaw, the public officer designated by the mayor as described in the City Code of Ordinances, Article 6, unfit buildings, and charged with addressing properties in the city that are out of compliance with the adopted codes of the City of Knoxville. The adopted codes include the 2018 editions of the following. These are all international codes: fire, building, residential, plumbing, mechanical, fuel gas, existing building, energy conservation, swimming pool and spa, and property maintenance codes, as well as the 2017 edition of the National Electric Code. The public officer is authorized to hold hearings, administer oaths and affirmations, examine witnesses, and receive evidence and issue orders as a result of his findings in determining the condition of buildings that are dangerous, unfit, and injurious to the health and safety of the occupants and/or public. The procedure for the public officer is as follows. Each case will start with a report and presentation of evidence by officers representing various city departments. Today, this will primarily consist of, but is not limited to, evidence presented by Mr. Scott Elder, Neighborhood Codes Enforcement Manager for the City of Knoxville. Mr. Elder is employed by the City of Knoxville and is certified as a property maintenance and housing inspector. Following the city's report and testimony, the owner or owners and/or their legal counsel, as well as any members of the general public, will be given an opportunity to respond. The public officer has the authority to limit this time as per his discretion. Today's agenda will be modified to hear the cases of property owners present at this time and in the order signed up as you entered the hearing room. We make this accommodation to minimize any inconvenience to the owners and members of the public here today. For those actively participating in today's meeting, thank you. Your involvement and active participation is appreciated. As per legal counsel, I need to read the following notice of demolition into the record. Any person who intends to perform work on a structure that the public officer has placed an order against shall first make application to the building official and obtain the required permit. For orders issued by the public officer, please be aware that just obtaining permits and starting rehabilitation of a structure does not invalidate the city's power to take corrective action such as demolition of a dangerous structure, regardless of the amount of work performed by the owner. All orders are still in effect if the rehabilitation work has not been completed and the structure has not had all final inspections approved within the time provided by the order, or by an extension if one has been granted. Remember, if rehab is not fully complete or an extension is not in place, the structure may be demolished after the order time has expired or after any prior written extension of time has expired without any further notice given to the owner. All right, are there any questions before we start? And the participants are sworn in. All right, all individuals testifying today will need to be sworn in. If you are testifying today, please raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Mrs. Burke, please advise me if any individuals arrive late and need to be sworn in mid-hearing. All right, with that, we will dive into our business today. Got a short agenda today, it looks like. So we're going to discuss the property at 2742 Hancock Street. Mr. Elder, what evidence does the city have?
Yeah, this is a request for an affirmation of an order that you, a repair demolition order that you approved on 8/16/24. So we inspected on 8/16/24, and the main building was found to be heavily damaged by fire and left in burned out conditions, as you can see there. The structure was extremely unstable, as the photos demonstrate. Fencing around the property was unsecured, and the building contained several barrels of unknown substances. So we requested that emergency order due to public safety concerns at the time. You approved it on the 16th. So today we're just requesting that you affirm that order to include the accessory structures, any accessory structures, and the security fence.
All right. Are there any other persons present to speak on this property? All right, if you could approach the podium, state your name and address for the record.
I'm Edward P. Bales Jr., 924 Woodsmoke Circle in Knoxville, and I'm the owner of the property.
Okay.
I'm sorry I missed seeing you yesterday. I was on the phone. I could hear you, but you couldn't hear me.
So what's the story here?
Well, what would you like to know? The status? There's no more building. Would you please acknowledge what you saw yesterday?
Sure. The building has been taken down since the order was approved, and it was mostly cleaned up. I think they still had some dumpsters full, and gentlemen on the site said that they were going to have those out of there by today. So hopefully by the end of the day, this whole site will be cleaned up as far as the building and its contents are concerned. I told them I'd swing back out there at some point today to verify that. Is that still the case, Mr. Bales, that they'll have
Sure, I can
everything
meet you
cleaned up?
anytime. We have people there working. Yeah.
Don't need to schedule anything. We're just
Sure.
stopping by, or I may have one of our folks
Yeah.
go by. But it looked good. It looked good yesterday. They were continuing to work, so their pledge was to have it all cleaned up by the end of the day. So that's fine. The city's fine with that. So it looks like they took heed about the order that you approved and are moving forward with what we required.
I would like to give you the background of what happened. This is, I think, the 6th arson since we lost our facility back in 19. There's been 6 arson attacks, if you will, on the property. And that building was the only building that had survived. We were using it for storage. We had some equipment in there, balers, some things that were, needing parts or whatnot, some forklifts. They were locked up in the building, and I guess that was the last building standing, so that's what they burned. And it happened that day, August the 16th. So once we got the order, I was in touch with Chad. I got the order, and I told him we would get everything out of the building and away from it. But when we went into the building, it was so badly damaged and so dangerous that I wouldn't let anybody go in the building. So basically, as we were trying to drag material out to throw away, it collapsed. I have pictures and photos if you would like to see them, where the whole thing just collapsed. It was a metal frame building, but it survived a 250,000 square foot fire that went on for a week, and there was no damage in that building. But it didn't make it through someone going in and setting it on fire I guess it was probably 11 or 12 o'clock at night. They'd tried before, but no one had successfully set it on fire. And I talked to Sonny. I went to visit Sonny Pardon at his office to get the report so I could show the different arson attempts. And he basically told me that they had caught 2 or 3 people over these past 3 years. I'm not sure if they were prosecuted or what, but they evidently caught 3 separate attempts. They caught the people in the act. And that's how that building ended up getting burned. Now, during the cleanup, I was there with the fire marshal and the bus, the support bus equipment, the day after the fire to make sure that those liquids that were inside the building which it was antifreeze. It was barrels of antifreeze that we had. But we removed all that while we were there, while the fire marshal was there with 2 trucks and a bus. I left and went to, down the street to get a sandwich or something. By the time I came back to the site, someone had already come in and stolen material off the back of that building from the railroad while the fire marshal was still there. So I'm not sure what's going on, if there's just people roaming around picking up metal, or I'm not sure, but I have no intention on rebuilding that building. We're trying to get housing. That's what we've talked to several people about, putting multifamily housing or single-family housing on the property now that it's rezoned. So I want everybody to know on the record that we have no intention of rebuilding the recycle business there.
So the plan, just for the trailers, I think your man said that you're in the process of selling those and
Correct.
emptying
Yeah.
emptying all the contents out. And
Just to let you know why they're not already gone is because every single one of them has had the copper wire pulled out from it, so it has no taillights. They're totally good trailers, but they have no lights. So now I'm putting each one, lights on each one so they can be hauled off. They're being sold as storage trailers and scrap trailers. There's about 40 plus, 42 or 43. We've sold a bunch of them already as scrap, the ones that could be pulled down the road. So, you know, I want to make my statement today is I'm totally cooperative with your office, with Chad, with Scott, with zoning and permitting. I'm completely supportive of getting all this done.
Well, we appreciate it. We'll just watch it for a little bit. I talked to zoning, and I think that you said they told me that you're working with them to get it.
Absolutely.
Okay. So,
I'm trying to go in a positive direction, not a negative direction. So
part of this order is securing the property, and that means repairing the fences and making sure that they're locked.
Yes.
And so it prevents folks from
I
coming on.
want to make
there.
this statement also, and I know that Chad has seen it. I know you've probably seen it. We've replaced 20 sections of that fence, and every time we replace it, somebody comes with a sawzall and just cuts a new hole. I'm not saying I know who it is. I don't know who it is. I don't know who's doing it. But there's a trail. I mean, it's like a game trail. And that's how I find the holes in the fence. I don't know what to do about it. I mean, I could replace the whole fence, and then it's easy to cut it with a sawzall.
Right.
Nowadays, people just zip them a new hole and off they go. We actually caught some people. We put game cameras out there to record people coming through the fence. Then they stole my game cameras. So honestly, I'm kind of at wit's end. I don't know what to do except for get everything off the property.
I
That's
think that'll do it. I think if you get it off and give them nothing to come on there for, then
Right.
I think that'll take care of it. So that's what we'll be looking for. We can work
Sure.
with you. We just
Yeah.
the quicker you
Well,
get
I still
cleared
use
off.
it. I mean, those trailers, it's I don't have another 5 acres that I can go but I'm getting rid of them. So they're going away regardless.
Right.
Regardless, they're going away.
Great.
But again, I want to restate the prime reason that I wanted to be here today is because I want to cooperate in any fashion. If you guys, when I got the emergency order, it was already an emergency to me because I didn't want any humans in that building. It was hanging. And that storm that came through, it would have been on the ground anyway. So at least we got ahead of the storm, so.
Well, we appreciate it. Thank you.
Sure. Is there anything that you want to know from me?
Just to know the path of getting those trailers removed, I guess that's the thing, because those are still things that people might want to come on and
Exactly.
explore. So.
Well, what my statement is, they will be empty trailers. The only time there's ever a trailer there now that's full is hooked to a truck because he didn't make it to the paper mill, or he didn't make it to the delivery spot, so he leaves the truck and the trailer hooked up, and then we've actually had those broken into also to steal grocery products out of them. Yeah, muffins or, just I don't know what to say about it. I guess if I had people there full time, maybe it would be less of an issue. But we don't do processing there.
Right.
We don't do any processing.
Well, I think the building's settled with this order. As long as you can make sure it's secured, that's what we'll be looking
Yeah,
for.
well, it's gone now.
Locking the gates,
Yeah.
repair the areas that
Yeah.
are cut. Maybe demonstrate that to us once you fix the fence and show us that it's locked. I mean, I understand that you can't be there all the time, and people can, if they want to get in, they're going to get in.
Well,
but-
trespassing, no one is allowed to come on the property.
Sure.
I mean, period. But how do you enforce that? I'm not certain. We've had officers there. I've hired security to be there, and of course, I don't know. It's a big piece of property, and if someone's willing to risk their life and limb to come across the railroad tracks illegally, that's a whole nother ballgame, because the railroad tracks are behind us. Yeah. Okay. Well, if you need me to do anything special, Chad can get a hold of me. You can get a hold of me anytime. I'll meet you at the property, or Mike's there pretty much every day, all day.
Yeah, I think if it's, you're on the right path, if there's nothing there, then I don't think people will come. So as long as we're pushing forward with getting it cleared out like you're trying to do, then I think we'll be in good shape.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Has anyone else signed up to speak on this item?
I will.
Thank you. If you could please state your name and address for the record.
Yes, Michelle Ivester, Oakwood Lincoln Park Neighborhood Association. As you all know, this property has been a problem for our neighborhood for a number of years. Since the first fire, which caused a lot of problems for neighbors, toxicity, people lost pets, other people got sick, had to move. I don't know how to help Mr. Bales either to secure the property, but I have neighbors all the time tell me that trailers continuously are brought in. When I drive by, I always notice new items that are there on the property. There was a bunch of pallets wrapped in plastic when I went by last week. So, like I said, I'm really happy to hear that you're going to start doing housing.
I wanted to add, I will answer that. The pallets, part of our order was that we unload.
Let's, yeah,
So we were told that he's not supposed to bring anything, period, onto the property other than dumpsters to clean. So I don't know other than what I've been told. I worry about the toxicity of the property for housing. I hope that is able to become a thing, but I really hope that the EPA or whoever does some proper testing before we put a bunch of families on a possibly toxic property. I'm happy to hear that you are cleaning it up because it has been almost, 6 years now? 7 years? It's been a long time. Neighbors are concerned, and we're tired of having to call and call and call and call and call to have what seems like nothing's done. So we're pleased to see that this is going on. Thank you so much.
thank you. All right.
I just want to answer
just
that one thing,
if-
I can.
You can come back to the podium.
Yes, I'm sorry. I want to make sure everybody's on the same page. The order and the meeting I had with Chad the day after the fire, this last fire, he expressed that he wanted all of the trailers that were on the site to be emptied of materials, which I agreed to, because I can't keep someone from setting them on fire. So obviously, if there's, the pallets that you were talking about, they were actually, we would back a trailer to the dock, we were unloading it and putting it into compactors to go to the landfill. That's the only thing that is coming out. So yesterday, we unloaded 6 trailers, and the material sat on the dock, then the gentleman with the Bobcat loaded it in the Opatops, and then it goes away. So that's the only thing that's happening there. We don't unload any trailers. We're not bringing material to the property. It would be foolish to bring material to the property. I'm just saying, from any standpoint, because it will either be stolen or burned or something else. So we don't bring anything to that property. Yeah,
Great.
thank you.
Thank you. All right. Anyone else signed up to speak on this item? Ms. Burke?
No, sir.
All right. Okay, then, I do affirm the finding that the structure at 2742 Hancock Street, including the accessory structures, is out of compliance with the codes of the city of Knoxville, an attractive nuisance, and is dangerous and injurious to the health and safety of the occupants or public. I also affirm the existing emergency order to repair or demolish the structure at 2742 Hancock Street, including the accessory structures. If the owner fails to take corrective action, the city may cause the immediate repair or demolition of the building, with the cost of such emergency repair or demolition being a lien and collected in the same manner as provided in city code. I also order the owner to secure the property located at 2742 Hancock Street, including the accessory structures, immediately, due to the building being an attractive nuisance and dangerous and injurious to the health and safety of the community, being open and accessible to children and members of the general public. All right. If I'm not mistaken, that is our only item today. With that, we are adjourned. Thank you.